Guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I have an exciting exercise to share with you guys from a book that I've been reading called Tarot for Transformation, and this is by Andy Metzner, and I promise I will be doing a review of this ginormous tome at some point, but it's going to take a while for me to really go through it because it's got so much information. And Andy Metzner has been working in the field of psychology for over 20 years, and I love psychology and psychoanalysis and all of that. And when you mix it with tarot, like, woo, like you have just hit like the mother lode of like what I love. I want to jump into the section that he has on the Emperor. So he goes through the major arcana in this book and applying it to analysis of our lives and just helping us to be better people through transformation of our own, volition. So anyway, let's dive into this, into the Emperor section. And the reason I mostly want to talk about the Emperor section is because he talks about the world in which we live in, like what is truth? Like what does that mean when you say that men shouldn't cry or girls like pink and boys like blue? Like where do all of these beliefs and thoughts and all of this like come from? What is reality, other than what we say it is, and that goes into like a lot of stuff I would like to say on that, but I think that he explains it really well in here, and I just want to not make this a long video, but I do want to share at least some of the journal prompts that he has for that, and working through limiting beliefs and core beliefs and where did those come from, because we don't come out of the womb having these beliefs. They were taught to us at some point from someone. Could have been people within the home, could have been friends, could have been the media, it could have been the world around us, society. And a lot of that, it's personal to me because back when I was in college, I had gotten some counseling for anger management, and a lot of the stuff the counselor was talking about was core beliefs, like where, is this stuff even coming from? She would ask me to make a list of things that I believed about the world and that I believed about myself, and she was like, now let's find out where that actually comes from, because that doesn't sound like you talking. That's somebody else talking, and I want to know who that is. And I was like, what? Like, it's like what I believe, And she's like, just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true. And I was like, true that. So let's dive in to this awesome sauce book. Like I said, I'm just going to read a little bit from here, and I do want to share a couple of the journal prompts. But if you are interested in getting this book, you can find it on Amazon, and I will put the link down below. Like, seriously, it's for a book this size, I would think that it would cost way more than it does, so it is reasonably priced, believe me. It says, back in 1933, Alex Korzybski, the founder of the field of general semantics, stated, "The map is not the territory." And he was talking about, he was giving like the example of, when we look at a map and we follow the map and we find that, where it leads us it led us to the right place. So now we believe that the map is true. However, the map is not the territory. It is only a representation of it. It says he argued that human beings process their experience of the world around them through their 5 senses and language. This limits our direct knowledge of reality, since it is always being filtered and interpreted by the brain. That is, there is a reality outside of ourselves, but our experience of this reality is formed by the electrical signals processed via our nervous system, as well as our personal beliefs. This analogy of map versus territory can help us in 2 ways. First, it asks us to avoid that assuming that other people see and experience the world as we do, and that's something that seems to come up time and time again, no? Second, it reminds us that just because we believe something to be true does not necessarily mean it is, as my counselor told me way back when. We never experience reality in and of itself, but rather are always interpreting it subjectively from our unique physiological and psychological selves. Another issue is that a map can become outdated, or perhaps it was never really accurate in the first place. That is why it becomes vital to explore our relationship with reality and what we believe to be true. So, what exactly creates the lens through which we see and experience the world? Race, ethnicity, social class, gender, sexual orientation, a history of trauma, one's religious upbringing, color blindness, birth order. The list could be endless. The fact is that each of us, based on our unique physical and psychological characteristics and backgrounds, have a different map of reality. A poor white male coal miner of Scottish ancestry living in Appalachia will view and feel the world differently from an upper-class Korean female who works as a real estate agent in New York City. This is an important concept because our belief systems are either empowering us to live a meaningful life or they are causing us to suffer. Take, for example, optimists and pessimists. Have you ever wondered why one person will see the glass half full and another will see the glass as half empty? And it says if you put it into a business context, an optimist will process a business setback as a learning experience on the path to success, while a pessimist will experience that very same failure as proof that they will never succeed and should therefore give up. Each person believes that their way of viewing the world is natural and therefore obviously correct. But who is right? Is it the glass half full or the glass half empty? And then it was talking about colors. You know how you go into a store and you go into the baby section for newborns and you notice that in the little girls section there's a lot of pink, and you go into the little boys section and there is a lot of blue. Now you would probably say, well, that's just something that has been forever believed, that, you know, boys are blue and girls are pink. Well, the author was talking about that didn't actually start becoming a thing, like color being associated to a certain gender, until the 1950s, and it didn't really solidify until the 1980s. And actually, he found a catalog from 1918 which states that boys should be in the color pink and girls in the color blue because blue was considered more dainty and more feminine. So isn't that interesting, you know, that the society around us has somehow put this into our core belief system where we're like, oh, well, of course, that's the way it's always been, when in fact it hasn't. But that's the reality that we have been given, and therefore that's the reality we believe and the reality that we continue to perpetuate. Very interesting. There's also a quote in here by Louise Hay, and she says, "We learn our belief systems as very little children, and then we move through life creating experiences to match our beliefs. Look back in your own life and notice how often you have gone through the same experience." Then the author is talking about why he chose to talk about this particular subject with the Emperor card. And he says, when you look at Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork on the Smith Waite card, you see that the figure has armor underneath heavy garment. On the one hand, the Emperor possesses the symbols of life, the Ankh, and power, the orb, yet he still faces the possibility of stultification and paralysis if he allows his armor to weigh him down. This is emphasized by the dry, barren landscape behind his throne. We carry our belief system with us, and it influences every aspect of our lives. But because it is, as I mentioned above, the water that we swim in, we are often unaware of its power. That is why it is so important to bring each of our beliefs to light and make sure each one is life-giving rather than life-draining. Here is the journal prompt section that I think that you guys could really benefit from. Like I said, there's a lot in here, so if after this video you're more curious to see what else this book has, like I said, I'll be doing a review later on once I gingerly make my way through. But you could always get it on Amazon. Okay, so at the top of your journal page, write "I believe." Okay, and then underneath that it says, for the prompts below, notice what thoughts immediately arise as you read each one. Please give yourself permission to be honest. I know it can be painful, but this is the only way to know what kind of programming you are dealing with. Currently, what do you believe to be true about yourself? Take some time, definitely, to answer this one. What do you believe to be true about other people? Again, do not rush through these prompts. What do you believe to be true about the world? Once you have finished with your master list of beliefs, I'd like you to go to a separate page in your journal. For each of the beliefs that you have written down, please answer the following questions. Where did I learn this belief? What has this belief helped me to accomplish? What has this belief helped me to avoid? What does this belief allow me to do? What does this belief allow me to have? What does this belief allow me to be? What are the advantages of having this belief? What are the disadvantages of having this belief? Finally, each of your rules and beliefs has consequences. For each one, answer the following 2 questions. What happens when I have this belief? What would be possible if I didn't have this belief? He goes on to say, so having lived your life with a particular belief system and knowing how it has affected you, what would you change about it? What beliefs would you like to keep? Which would you like to release? And what might be some new empowering beliefs about the world that you could add? And of course, he has a little bit more about that. And there's some more journaling exercise. But I think that one is a really powerful one. I think maybe to get you guys started, because this is like my jam, you know, this whole like topic. And just like as a final thought in that chapter, he says, just remember, beliefs are like clothing styles. It's okay to outgrow them and move on. I love that. Like, I am probably going to put that on a Post-it note and put it on my vanity mirror. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that you give these journal prompts a go, and it really gets you start, thinking about, the goings-ons in your life and how you interact with people, how you interact with yourself, and definitely bust out your tarot deck to help you answer some of those journaling prompts if you become a little stumped, or maybe come up with some of the answers and then pull a tarot card to kind of maybe elaborate on the answer. I think would be really interesting too. So anyway, thank you to Andy Matzner for creating this wonderful book, and let me know if this is something that you're going to want to try out. Some people said they already have, a couple of his other books, and I know that he's done a lot of great things. But like this is my first book of his, and I'm like really smitten. I think it's like so rad, and I'm all about like self-development and transforming and self-empowerment and all that good stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of pass that on to you guys. So I hope you dug this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweetsandtarot.com. And not only do I have a lot of different types of readings, I have my Lenormand, I have Conchomancy, which is reading with seashells, like one of my favorite things to do. I have scrying, I have tarot, I have all kinds of stuff. But I also have my bracelets that I make. I have my room and body sprays, my salves, my Travel Witch altar pendants and ancestral altar pendants, rainbow bridge pendants to honor your furry, feathery, scaly loved ones. And I have my Wally's World Oracle, oh my gosh, which was community created and community funded May of last year. So I'm even though it's been like last year, I'm like, I have an Oracle deck. So definitely go check that out. And hey, if you want to throw a little love my way, think about joining the KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittensweetsandtarot so that I could create more and do more for you guys. It definitely helps out the channel. And that's it from me, spiritual homies. I will catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.